Welcome back to What Was That Anime, the show where we review old and new anime, and sometimes we do a little bit more. This week, we are going to do something a little different. We are going to talk about Chainsaw Man, and let me tell you, if you are interested in the Reze Arc, then you are going to be in for a treat. But let's keep our heads on straight, because Chainsaw Man is more than your normal gore-infested Seinen anime. With fears manifesting as devils and people disappearing faster than the last gyoza, humanity is tasked with hunting them down and haggling with them for powers to hunt the rest of the devils down. Now let's get into why Chainsaw Man is the saddest story you will find from this era of anime, and why it has nothing to do with the manga or anime. Chainsaw Man markets itself aesthetically as a seinen, but it originally was published in Weekly Shonen Jump for Part 1 and later Jump Plus digitally for Part 2. This originally was an attempt to attack both labels, Shonen and Seinen, merging them lightly but leading heavily into nihilistic roots similar to Dali Kill Kill or Akame ga Kill. Chainsaw Man starts with Denji, your stereotypical horny teenager with just a little bit more humanity than the average gooner, saving a dog devil with a chainsaw in its head, Pochita, and they become the duo we follow for the series. Now as the cast expands, including Power, Aki, and Makima, we see that while the series and show wants us to get invested, the writing is bathed in tragic irony and beautiful sorrow. The same type of writing is featured on our podcast, What Was That Anime, where we dive into stories you love, available wherever you consume podcasts. Thanks to them for continuing to support our content. Now back to one of those stories. Regarding Aki, we learn Aki is doomed to die, based on the contract he makes with a devil, and that sets up a character arc that no one wants to see finish. His entire character has been, should he get his own love interest and relationship? Should he be more than just a sacrificial hunter? And can he get more from this life? Denji is tragically ripped from Reze in the most painful romantic arc of our anime era. And the realist tragedy is that the writer appears to have been forced to continue the story. Without spoiling the Gun Devil arc for current fans, it appears that the writer was intending for that to be the end of the series, but due to the popularity of Chainsaw Man, that ending appears to have been changed with the following War Devil arc. When taking this into account, I personally can't give Chainsaw Man a pure rating because I, as a fan of both the anime and the manga, see where the two diverge, as well as from a writing perspective where the publisher pressure begins to come in more, and we will just have to wait and see if they're able to salvage this universe and IP. Part 2 just feels, reads, and sounds like a writer being pushed to continue a story past its logical endpoint with Part 1. If you are good at pattern recognition, you will also notice that the War Devil arc actually mirrors the previous Part 1 Eternity Devil arc. This isn't to say that Chainsaw Man doesn't have awesome power scaling and characters like the Darkness Devil, Katana Man, Himeno, Reze, all multi-dimensional characters or beings that are intriguing and interesting, but honestly, with the current way Chainsaw Man has been panning out, it just seems to be getting forced into a round hole, even though it's a square peg. I honestly can't give this a traditional rating yet, because the editorial ghost is haunting the pages. Is Part 2 a natural evolution, or is it a franchise being kept on life support by a publisher that won't let it die? Because in Part 1, the world exists to break Denji's heart, but in Part 2, the characters seem to exist only to keep the world's gears turning. That flips from character-led storytelling to world-mandated plot, and that's why the series begins feeling like it's lost its center. You can't ask an audience to fall in love with a person and then tell them to stay for the prophecy. That's not why we started watching Chainsaw Man. Let me know in the comments, did I disappoint you with this take, or are you seeing the same cracks in the foundation? Come back next time on What Was That Anime, and we'll get into another series. Thanks for stopping by.